All right. Mike wrote some notes up for me, so I got some notes, so I don't mess anything up. We ended last year. What was it? 2 minutes 58 seconds tied, and came up short of the NCAA tournament. We decided not to participate in another postseason tournament because we had done that the year before, and so we made a decision as a program to bypass one of the others, the CBI, the CIT. We could have attended those, but we made the decision not to, which I think paid off because the portal opened to the day of the championship game. I think, and we thought it was more important. Um, and honestly, our guys wanted to go to the NCAA tournament, and we didn't accomplish that. So we made that decision, and we've kind of used that 2 minutes shy of our goal as a motivator for this off season. And I think Faison can probably talk to that a little bit. But we felt like last summer especially, we missed some opportunities. And when you don't seize those opportunities to work and become a team, they bite you at the wrong time, and they bit us in the last 2 minutes. And that's kind of how we've looked at it. So all summer on this floor in this gym, we've talked a lot about, hey, not 2 minutes short. We're not going to have our work leave us 2 minutes short. So that's been a motivating factor for us, and it's been good for our guys. I do want to recognize our staff. Mike's here, but they're grinding away over in the offices. But unlike most college basketball staffs, we have the exact same full-time staff that we have had since they were hired here 3 years ago. And I couldn't be more proud of the men that we have on that staff, what they do for our guys. They're obviously great basketball coaches, but it's more than that. And I'm grateful for their dedication and the mission that we have here and what we have going on in Milwaukee. And I think these guys can speak more to it than me, but they love those guys. Their doors are always open, and they're more than basketball coaches to them. We've got a new philosophy, not a new philosophy, but a new slogan for the season called "Tilt the Floor." So marketing wanted to come up with something new. It's nothing new for me. So we obviously play fast, but we guard 94 feet. Faison loves it because he has to pick all the way up back here and guard that basket. So we try to make sure that the other team is having to work for every single board on the floor that they get, every foot, every inch they have to work for. And so as time goes on in the game, they feel like they're playing uphill. And it literally feels like they're playing uphill. You can do it for a little while, but if you're not used to it, it gets old fast. And then we play fast, make or miss, we're going to come back at you. So we feel like the floor tilts and we play downhill. And over time, you start to see that team get slower. And in the last 8 minutes, we think that takes effect. So something we've done, AJ's done it for 6 years now, but we tilt the floor. And when the floor tilts for us, everyone in the crowd knows it. And one of the other philosophies that we have is we play on margins. And if you're going to win at a high level, at an elite level, you have to build in margins into your game. And so we have several margins that we build in. One is offensive rebounding. So we want to get maybe 3 more offensive rebounds than our opponent. So every possession in a college basketball game, and we're going to get in the weeds here a little bit, every possession in a college basketball game is worth 1 point. So when Faison Fields gets 101 offensive rebounds in a single season, that's the record, right? That's 101 points. He may not have scored every single one of those, but for us, that's 101 possessions, if that makes sense. we also have a turnover margin, and we want to get 3 more turnovers than we commit. We haven't always been, over the last 2 years, we haven't always had the personnel to get all our margins, to play exactly the way we wanted to play, whether it was, trying to put the roster together, injuries, what have you. But this team has the ability to get those margins. Another margin is 3-point shooting, and another margin is getting to the free throw line. So we get to the rim and we shoot threes. Analytics plays into that. But if you can build in a plus 10 margin, people ask, well, how did you get all those 30-win seasons at Queens? Well, you start out with a plus 10 margin, and then you can have an off shooting night. You can buffer some things that happen during the game. What I love about these guys, and our staff has done a fantastic job of recruiting and coaching. But I like, I'm a little bit of a history buff, so I love Teddy Roosevelt. And he had the Rough Riders, and these guys probably don't like that term, but the Rough Riders were a group of people. It didn't matter where they came from, and he took them from all walks of life. But they had one thing in common: they could all fight. And I feel like this team are a bunch of Rough Riders, and they can all fight. And I like where we are. I don't know about the preseason, whether they pick us first or second, third. I know that's great for publicity, but I do like what we've done in the off season. I like where we are right now. I like our toughness. I like our grit. But let me talk about some of the specific guys. Returners. We got KP. You guys all know KP. And I'm gonna spout off some things about each one. 10 points a game, 4 rebounds, returning. Has played in every game since I got here. Yeah. So obviously a lot of faith in KP. Eric Pratt, also senior, started 24 games last year, 12.5 points, shot 36% from 3. There's a guy named Faison Fields, and I don't know how much more I could say about Faison. When he got here from Old Dominion, he didn't have maybe his swag, his confidence. And as the season went on, especially with the injuries, in his mind, and I think he's changed his body as well. I think in his mind he said, okay, the team can't rely on guys that aren't here and are injured. So it probably took that for him to say, I'm going to do what I'm capable of doing. And when his confidence came back, we start to see the Faison that we all knew was there. And I've seen it in the off season. And Faison's kind of a funny guy. He looked at me one day and he goes, I think I'm gonna really give this basketball thing a chance. And he has. And he's becoming a worker, and your confidence always comes from your work. So really proud of where Faison is, and he's got all the stats. Set the offensive rebound record. Probably will crush that this year. Had multiple double games last year, 4 consecutive. Darius Duffy, Duff is back from the finger injury. Darius Duffy and Aaron Franklin really missed a lot of time for us last year, and both of those guys are critical to our success. They give us size and strength and toughness, and obviously good basketball players. So he and Aaron are back. Aaron had 6 starts last year, had a game winner. Lyric Davis, we now have 7 Milwaukee guys on the roster. Some are scholarships, some are walk-ons, but I think when we got here, there was 0, right? There were maybe one. So we're up to 7 guys, 2 guys on the staff. So definitely trying to take care of home, but then finding those Rough Riders out in the weeds. So Lyric's really changed his body. He appeared in 33 games last year. I think you guys are going to be pleasantly surprised with his development, his jump shot, his body. He's really coming on. Newcomers, probably start with the guy on my left. I am really humbled to coach AJ again. He could not resist doing one more boot camp. No, really, he wanted to come here, but one of the things that he had to get over was he had to do one more boot camp. But AJ is a winner to his core. Probably known AJ since he was 15, um, and always been a winner. Always been a winner. Won in high school, won state championships. We won at Queens. Um, I know that if I was in the foxhole somewhere, that I'd want this guy with me. So he was all league last year in the ASUN. I think 18 points, 19 points a game. More of a two-way player than anybody knows. They just see that he scored, but a great defender, and has been through the program for now 6 years. So it's basically the same program. Themis Folks is a senior point guard that again I've known for a long time. Played for Jake in junior college. We tried to get him. He and BJ actually visited together when BJ committed. So we feel like I've been recruiting Themis for a long time, and he decided to leave Louisiana. He had led them to an NCAA tournament, and also a winner. Really gives us a guy that can control the game, and his experience is invaluable. A name you'll get to know quickly is Jamichael Stillwell. Jamichael, when we started recruiting him last year, was averaging about 15 rebounds a game in junior college. He got mono in February, lost 20 pounds, ended up averaging about 10 and a half rebounds. Still was one of the nation's leaders, but would have led the entire nation in junior college by far. But there's a lot to his game. He's put all that weight back on and then some. So I think he's up to about 235, and really tough player, and really fits our system. John Lovelace, another Milwaukee guy. John terrorized us for 2 years at Youngstown State. One of the things, 4 of the guys that we brought in that are transfers have played for somebody on our staff previously. John played for Jose at Brown Deer, and then in junior in travel ball a little bit. And John's a great kid, super athlete, really versatile, inside outside. Really happy to have him. Another Milwaukee guy, Danilo Jovanovic. D'Lo went to Miami his first year and redshirted. He was on that Final Four team. Then at Louisville last year, has really found a home here. And again, another versatile guy that can play in and out. When he graduated high school here, he was second in the Mr. Basketball voting for the state of Wisconsin. So very proud to have him here. And then we added Asaya Pippa-White toward the end of the recruiting season. And Asaya was the freshman of the year in the West Texas JUCO League. He's from Portland, Oregon, but really a good player, really heady. He's a guy that's got a lot of character because he's staring at 4 senior guards there. So he's finding his role, but we think that he adds a lot to our team, and really lucky to have him here. Sorry, I'm being long-winded. Mike had a lot of notes. So that's part of our roster. Our schedule, we open here at the Klotchke against Lakeland on 11-4. Then we have 3 straight road games. We go at Northern Iowa, at Longwood, and at Duquesne before we come back for the Cream City Challenge here in the MTE. When we finish boot camp, last day we have the entire schedule blown up over there. We put it over there. And each of the games, they have something that they have to do physically, something they have to do. And so we get to go through the flow of the schedule. So you got 3 straight road games. These are going to be hard. So whatever we do is really hard. Okay, we come back for a non-D1, and it's a little easier. So that whatever we do is a little easier. Okay, we've got Thanksgiving. We're going to UCF. You guys play UCF. We run a sprint or whatever we do for UCF. Then we travel to New Orleans. We're going to spend Thanksgiving Day in New Orleans. Be kind of cool. Then we'll travel to Hattiesburg, Mississippi, and play Mississippi State. So now Mississippi State's going to be tough. They beat us here last year. Got a tough sprint. So we go all the way through the calendar. So these guys are really familiar. Some of the highlights are that we don't leave the state in December. Really happy about that. One of those is at Green Bay. Got to figure out where Green Bay is. But I think our schedule is challenging, but doable. And then we get into league play pretty quickly. That good enough? All right. It's a lot of information. I saw Todd nodding off, so.
Questions for Coach real quick.
So last year, I remember it could not be an off season, and you kind of backed up on it later. So what should we do this off season to make sure?
I don't know that I didn't do anything differently. I think I approached it the same way. I think the culture is the guys in the room, right? And the culture here has been fantastic over the summer and through this fall season. So these guys deserve credit for that. They're a very focused group. They compete like crazy, but they don't. They talk to each other the right way. They push each other the right way. There's a lot of competition, but it's the right competition. So it's really them that had the great off season.
I'll just say everything that he said is 100% correct. This year seemed like everyone's focus is the same. We all are chasing that one thing, and that's we all want to go to the tournament. We all want to win. We just want to prove that we're capable of doing it. So everyone's motivated to be better, push all of their teammates do better.
Being that it's my last year of college basketball, like I wanted it to be special. Coming for Queens, like they're transitioning to D1, so they wouldn't have been able to go to the tournament. And I've done a lot of winning with Coach Lundy, and I just really wanted to keep that going. Like I didn't want to go anywhere where I would have had to build trust again from another coach. So Lundy was always there. Lundy took a chance on me from high school, so that was the biggest thing for me.
Yeah, Themis, the hardest thing as a head coach is you want guys that you can communicate with, especially at those guard positions. And Themis is a high level communicator, not only with me but with his teammates, and I think that really helps. Not only is he a good player, but he understands what we're trying to accomplish, and he can communicate that down the line. AJ is very much like that as well. He's a good communicator, demands respect. I think Themis, is at that spot. Eric probably, when Themis is out, and we have Asaya and KP and AJ, they can all play a little bit of point guard. And really, we've got a team where there'll be, as fast as we play, there'll be a lot of guys pushing the ball down the floor. When we set it up and we call a play, it'll probably be Themis out there. But you've watched us play. I don't know how often we really play like that. So if AJ has the ball and Themis is over there running to the corner and we're running a set, they're going to be a little bit interchangeable. Yeah. I think this is where we want to be in the conversation. We want people to recognize, the work that has been put into this over the last 30 months. So that's nice, and it's where we want Milwaukee on the top of that list. But you're right, we haven't proven anything, and until this program breaks through and and put some more banners up, we're just talking about what ifs. So, we're gonna treat the process the right way, and see where it lands. But I like where we are. Not only on these preseason rankings, but I think we're recruiting at a high level. These guys are working at a high level. We're doing community service at a high level. We started a camp program here from zero and had 600 kids, 600 families come through our camps, which that's people who are going to come to the games. We want to get student engagement at a higher level. So we want to operate in everything that we do at the highest level. And I think, maybe that number one ranking just signifies that we are doing a decent job.
You got the 7 Milwaukee area guys on the team this year. Obviously, you want guys to get played. It's important to kind of build that fence around the city if you can. Before you were here, it seemed like the program kind of got paid for. But do you notice the doors are opening a little bit more now? How important is that for coaches in the area, players in the area who are looking to play college basketball? For you moving forward now, do you think that's going to benefit you a lot?
Yeah, I think the doors are definitely opening. It is still difficult to get the players that we really want in the city to stay here initially. I don't know that we'll ever change that. And a lot of the good players are leaving the city before they even finish here. But I do think that guys from Milwaukee's a great place. Not only the school, the city, obviously the university, what the university's committed here. But I think they go away and they experience something away and they go, wow, Milwaukee's pretty cool. And it has been easier to get them back than it has been to get them initially. But we just keep trying, and I think this having 7 guys, that shows we're trying pretty hard. Yeah, he's John's a really good soul, and to have him here, he is one of those guys that takes a lot of pride in Milwaukee being across his chest, which I think is why he did terrorize us. He took a lot of pride coming home to play, and we talked about the margins. Right? John is an elite. He's got a lot of good skills, but he's an elite offensive rebounder. And if you remember, we lost to them in overtime last year, and BJ didn't block him off, not to kill BJ, but BJ didn't block him out on the backside, and he got that unbelievable dunk on the offensive rebound. That's how we want to play, and he kind of flipped the tables on us last year in both of those games. So, he's 6'8". He can guard anywhere on the floor. So he's what we call switchable. And so everything that he does fits what we do. And he's really proud to be here.
It was just, just confidence. As Coach said, I had a lot of confidence, going into those games with the coaches and the team, my teammates believing in me. And for the first part, I just tried to turn my body into, what the team needed me to be. So therefore, like, all the weight, all the bad weight, I would try to turn that into muscle and, just be in elite shape. Well, what boot camp does to you, it puts you in elite shape. So, yeah.
What would you say you ended the season at last year? Where you at right now?
Have you lost?
Last year I lost, but this year I've gained all of that back. So last year probably like I ended the season around 220, and I'm up to about like 225, 226 right now. Yeah.
Gain a little bit of weight
Yeah. Yeah.
Faison's a big Bradford Beach guy.
Running hills with Ham.
Running hills with Ham.
Yeah. You got it.
Um, it would just be like we want to leave a legacy in Milwaukee. Like Coach Lundy always talks about the wall outside of the old house. Like I just think everyone on our team wants to be on that wall, and I think that's our biggest motivator on why we want to make this tournament run this year.
Just to tag off what he said, we all want to build a legacy. We all want to be something or someone who's remembered here as, if we get a banner, they can't take that away from us. If we achieve one of those moments where it's just amazing, they can't take that away from us. And I would say the program it's due for that to happen. So as players, and I'm sure all the coaches and everyone in the program, like it's time we all believe in it, we all want it. So
Sure. Yeah, we haven't had any playing time yet, um, but it is a daily deal. There's a lot of competition at some spots, and but we do play a lot of guys too. Part of playing fast and the whole tilt the floor thing, that takes a lot of effort, and we've got a lot of guys that can do a lot of different things. I think our six seniors are really pretty solidified, and then after that, there's a lot of competition to get those extra minutes, but there's also experience coming in with those guys. So we'll see how it shakes out. I mean, Todd, you guys were the road with us last year. We had 6 surgeries last year, and we came into this with pretty decent depth. Maybe not as good as this year, but if we hadn't had that depth, last year could have been a disaster with all the injuries. But we were able to make it through that, and then when we got a little healthy toward the end, we made a nice run. But I think it all shakes out the way it should. Those are hard decisions. We will have scrimmages here in the next 2 weeks, and then individual meetings and role definition with the guys. So we're pretty transparent about all that. We're analytics driven. So every time that Faison takes a shot in live play, it's statted. So we know who's winning, who's losing, who's performing. So all that goes into it.
Obviously, last 2 years from Iowa, May is picking back up.
Yeah,
It might look a little different though this year, at least in terms of the sidelines.
yeah.
What do you expect from you guys in Phoenix this year, and just what are your thoughts on them having Doug? Obviously, a big, major marquee hire for Doug.
Yeah, I like Doug. I think he's probably trying to figure out all this mess. I always say, being a first-time head coach, it's not the big decisions that really wear you out. It's all the little ones. It's like being bit to death by a duck. And so I'm sure he's going through a lot of that now. But I'm sure he is a good basketball mind and probably will do a good job. Looks like they got a decent roster. So I expect it to be a dogfight when we go up there. I do hope they have a little better security when we go up there. But it's great to have in the state. And I'm excited to go up there and them to come here and get that rolling. I wish we could get Wisconsin, Marquette, all the schools involved, with some games. I think that's good for basketball here. We got the Bucks, and basketball in Wisconsin is pretty good. Yeah, I think we're as interested as we could be. We would love to play those games, and I think they have interest as well. It's just there are a lot of factors that go into that. How many games they have available, probably the biggest one. Talking to Mike Broker, every year, all the time. Mike handles scheduling. He's constantly talking to Wisconsin. So I think eventually it'll happen. But from our seat, we would love that. Yeah, I think the last deal when I was at Marquette was a 5-for-1. I don't know about that, but yeah, we'll play wherever. We're not. They want to play. Park. We'll play at the park. Can you repeat that? Sorry.
What are your expectations for the you said you feel like he's done
Yeah, I think that one of the things that I have to do for D'Lo is really define his role for him. I do think that he's an excellent player who's similar to Faison, went away and had some struggles and lost some confidence. He needs our program to put our arms around him, and he'll play whatever role. He just wants to be a part of something and get his confidence back. And I can see that growing every day from where he was in the summer to where he is today. It's a huge difference. So, I think it is up to me and the staff to really define that role for him. But that's a great observation, because probably more than anybody on the staff, maybe John a little bit, D'Lo needs us to say, hey, here's what we need from you, and he'll do that.
Could you repeat that second part again? Oh, attributes I'm looking to bring to the team. I just want to be that defensive spark. Like, I know I'm gonna be able to score. I know I'm gonna be able to get to the free throw line. But like Coach Lundy said, in past years, he doesn't feel like he had that defensive spark, and I want to bring that back to a program that wants to win and that been wanted to win these past couple of years. So that's the biggest thing. And then, what was that second part? Oh, the tone I want to say is just a defensive tone. Like, come out. I want to be that loud voice. I want people to hear me on the defensive end. I want to be the communicator on the end, just to push my teammates to be better and want to be on that end. And we're going to tilt the floor, like Coach Lundy saying, just go play on the offensive end.